Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends with a champion guide, this time on Siphi, the Lost Bride. So I've been holding off on Siphi and Rhodos because they're two of my more pay-to-win champions, to be totally honest with you guys up front. But today, I have been really neglecting live arena, and I need to push. So I pushed for a couple hours earlier today, and I thought to myself, you know what? Let's do something a little bit different here on the channel. I will show you my Siphi build. We'll talk about the champion in general, the areas that you can use her, how I would recommend building her, different ways you can build her, masteries, all the good stuff. And then we will use my +4 empowered Siphi inside the live arena. Not too long, maybe like 3 battles, 4 battles, who knows, right? We'll see how things go. So hopefully you guys can tolerate the fully empowered Siphi, the Lost Bride. I did think this is an appropriate time to release this video though, because we do have a 10x, which means nothing nowadays for Siphi at the time of this recording. So hey, maybe some of you guys actually pulled Siphi for the very first time. If so, congratulations. She's still one of the best Void legendaries and just overall champions in the game. A few shout outs here. We have I don't know, 100 Siphi requests. So I'm not going to get to everybody, but what do you think of this massive hat, by the way? I don't know if I'll ever wear it in public, but I'll wear it in front of thousands of you guys on YouTube. Nah, I think I would wear it. Who cares, right? I kind of like it. I don't know. It's super comfy, though. It's super comfy. Anyway, third day asking for a Siphi guide. Jesse. Oh, man, Jesse. Sorry, Justin. We got Jesse again. We got Aaron Smith looking for a Siphi. I'm going to stop here, guys. But let's go ahead and take a look at Siphi, the Lost Bride. So Siphi the Lost Bride is an undead horde, Void legendary champion. She actually used to be, it's tough to say a lot better, but yeah, I'm just going to say it. She used to be a lot better than she is today, and she's still one of the best champions, so that probably tells you how incredibly strong she was upon release. She's one of the few champions in this game to actually receive a pretty substantial nerf. That being said, again, she's one of the best control champions in the arena in the game because of her A1. Curse of Longing attacks one enemy, has a 100% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn if the target's turn meter is equal to or above 50%. This debuff cannot be resisted. Otherwise, you get a pretty mediocre heal if they're below 50% HP. The reason I say it's one of the best, if not the best, arena control abilities, because it can't be resisted. So basically, you can just absolutely lock down the opponent's troops, provided they don't have block troops. Troops? That's the first time I've used that word. Lock down their champions, or either or, right? But you can lock them down just by the sleep debuff, man. I think it's probably underrated until you get Siphi and use her in the arena, and then you recognize she's probably, this makes her one of the most powerful control champions, just A1, right? And we're not even to the crux of her kit here. Whirlwind Romance, it used to be 3 books all the way down to a 3. Actually, it used to be 2 books down to a 3 turn. They changed it to a 6 turn from a 5 turn. So in other words, it used to be a 3-turn cooldown when booked. It no longer is. Now you can get block debuffs for 2 turns, a turn meter fill of 10% on all allies, the big version of increased defense for 2 turns on all allies, and the big version of increased speed for 2 turns on all allies, okay? So obviously, one of the strongest buffing abilities out there in the game. Not only do you get the increased defense, the increased speed, but you also get the block debuffs and the turn meter fill, okay? On the only, and I don't even want to say downside, again, she's incredible. But when this was a 3-turn cooldown, she was one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, PvE champion support in the game as well. And now she's still S tier, still very good, just not as good as she was when it was a 3-turn cooldown. Love Beyond Death, revives single ally 55% HP, full turn meter on a 4-turn cooldown. Also brings increased attack, increased crit rate. But we're not done yet, guys. She just keeps going. Eternal Bond heals each ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn. So healing every ally at the start of their turn on her passive. Very strong ability. It allows her to be a very competent PvE healer and even a healer in the arena. Has a 50% chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from each ally at the start of their turn. So anybody gets a fear or a freeze, when Siphi's on the team, you have a coin flip shot of removing it, okay? She'll also cleanse, fully cleanse, remove every debuff from Rhodos the Lost Groom if they're on the same team at the start of his turn. That's her companion ability to her groom, to Rhodos, right? And let me tell you, it's only one little sentence, but it's massive. It makes them the most formidable duo inside the arena behind Taurus and Marichka in the game. We have resistance in all battles by 80 as well. And look at her base stats, guys. I would be remiss if I did not say 22k HP, super solid, 1200, almost 1300 defense, and 114 speed makes her one of the fastest champions on top of everything else inside the game. I said resistance in all battles by 80. It's one of the best all battle resistance auras inside the game as well. So she's got a lot going for her really quickly on hellhades.com. She is, I don't even need to see the rating here. She's a perfect 5 out of 5. Again, one of the top ranked champions inside the entire game. Where can you use her? I think the more appropriate thing to ask is where can you not use Siphi the Lost Bride? Clan Boss 4.5. I'm not even going to read them all. She scores a 4.5 or more in every area of the game, with the exception of Phantom Shogun Grove. Dragon a 4. I mean, it's crazy to say, but like, I'm just going to give her a 5 everywhere, except for Spider. I do agree. Like, you know, she doesn't have the kit that's like perfectly tuned for Spider, but you can use this champion anywhere in the game. Even Dreadhorn, you can use her, you know, as a high resist reviver, you know, she's just so good. She's so good. Hopefully I've conveyed that enough. I felt like I was a little critical of her. She's a 5 out of 5 in the arena when I was comparing her to before the buff and after the, or the nerf and after the nerf. But I shouldn't even mentioned it because she's still the best. She's still the GOAT. Multipliers don't matter on this champion. 5 attack multiplier, it's irrelevant. She's not doing damage outside of War Master if you have that mastery on her. Today, obviously, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you an arena build with her, but she is, you know, God tier support. She really is. If we go to gold 4, her win rate is 56%. Her pick rate is 48%. Ban rate 34. Gold 3, around the same numbers. Gold 2, around the same numbers. And gold 1. Her win rate is 61%. That's got to be one of the highest out there in the game. Let me go to like Yumeko and compare Yumeko. Just trying to pick like one of the most popular champions outside. I could pick like Marichka, I guess, or Taurus as well, but I want to see where Yumeko ranks in terms of her. Gold 4, around the same amount, banned a little bit more, but like that's how strong she is. Like, again, top 5, 10 champion inside the entire game. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let me show you how I have her built. We'll talk about other ways that we could build her as well. No, I don't want your 96 mortal soul stones or whatever. I'm going to show you my build, like I said, and then we'll talk about other ways that you could utilize this champion. So as I mentioned, I do have her +4 Ascended, and I have 3-star Awakened on this champion. So guys, I'm going to start right with the Blessing here. So the Blessing, I have Intimidating Presence. Now, yeah, it's great to strengthen your team's aura. It's great to weaken your team's aura, but that's a juicy 400 defense that you get there on the 2-star. And because I have her in a fairly high resist build in today's video, I really need that extra defense. Other options, though, I used to have her in Lightning Cage. That's going to prevent our buffs from being stolen or transfers when we get 3 stacks every time an opponent gets their turn meter filled or receives a buff. However, we get the attack. We don't get any HP. We don't get any survivability, so I decided to switch it to Intimidating Presence. Other options on Siphi the Lost Bride. You know what? I would go with one of these two, personally. Those would be my favorite blessings, Intimidating Presence or Lightning Cage. Just remember, you don't need 2 Intimidating Presence champions on your team. Obviously, one will get the job done. In terms of masteries, this is an arena-specific build for Siphi the Lost Bride, but I'll tell you what I would go with if I wasn't going to go arena, right? So, as you can see, I'm really trying to min-max my resistance. So, it's all about resist on my Siphi. Resist and speed, okay? So, I have resistance. I come down to improve parry, mitigating critical critical hits, come all the way down the left-hand side, and I end with Unshakable. On the support side of things, I'm picking up more HP. I'm coming down and I'm picking up Lay on Hands. I am picking up Rapid Response, very important, 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10%. When a buff cast by this champion is removed or expires, she has 3 buffs: increased defense, block debuffs, and increased speed on a 4-turn cooldown on her A2, so we can get that turn meter boost there. I do have Lore of Steel as well as Lasting Gifts. Lasting Gifts, probably one of the most important masteries for this champion to extend the duration of those buffs on the A2. And her Revival has buffs as well. So those are the masteries. Oh, if I was going to go for a general PvE build, and I didn't care so much about her resistance, right? Or I could just get by with whatever I had otherwise, I would probably scrap the defense, and I come down to offense. Obviously, I go crit rate, crit damage, come down the left-hand side all the way to War Master. Let me see if hellhades.com has a general PvE. They do. Here's the hellhades.com general PvE build for this champion. By the way, support hellhades.com. It's the best website by far. With all apologies to Yumi Love and all the other ones out there, there's just so much here that you can, access. I would probably, the only change I would make to this, honestly, is I would pick up Rapid Response, as I said, instead of Life Drinker. Life Drinker heals by 5% of the damage inflicted. She's not dealing any damage. It's going to be such a negligible. You'll get so much more bang for your buck with Rapid Response instead with those turn meter fills. So that would be the only change that I would recommend you guys make. I guess on top of that, do we really need Keen Strike for the extra crit damage? Or do we need Heart of Glory for the extra damage? Probably not. Probably you can just go with, I would maybe go Exalted Death. I think that was probably the way that I would go instead. But I'm being like nitpicky here. I think that, that's fine to go with as well. So the gear. I'll show you the total stats on Siphi here. 64k HP, 6200 defense, 358 speed, 618 resistance, okay? Like I said, like I warned you, endgame build. Endgame build. It's very difficult to get this much speed, resistance, and survivability on one champion, right? So she has some of the better gear that I have on the account. So what am I trying to do here? Why am I using this build? Well, I want her to resist as much as possible. 618 it used to be really good, right? Maybe about a year ago. Now, she's not resisting everything, but she's still resisting a lot, right? The old goal used to be, I need to resist every Warlord and every Yameko. Now I can ban them, or I can kind of move around. Usually people don't build their Mighty Ukos, or, anybody besides a Warlord, a Kaimar, a Yameko. Not many people build them, too much higher than 700 or 800. So sometimes I can get away, but I don't know. Anyway, I digress. I can use the resistance aura as well to bump that up by 80s to get me closer to 700 if I want to, which I do in some battles, depending on who I'm facing. We want her to go first, ideally, get all those buffs, and then turn meter fill everybody on my team by 10% at the same time, right? And then we want her to survive, right? In terms of PvE for this champion, stat priorities, right? Again, for me, it's all about speed and survivability. She's a fairly easy champion to build because you don't need accuracy for the sleep on the A1, and that would be the only debuff that she's bringing to the table. So there's no reason to have accuracy. There's no reason to have crit rate. There's no reason to have crit damage on this champion. So no matter what you're trying to do, she's an easy build, compared to most other champions out there that do require crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy on top of everything else. So I would prioritize speed, survivability, and then resistance if you want to build like this, right? So what do I have on her? I have resistance on the banner. I have a quad roll of resistance on this amulet. Very nice. Unfortunately, I got attack as an ascension stat, though, but I'm still using it for the resistance. So defense on the amulet or HP, survivability. I have defense on the ring. Is this the best ring I have? It's because I don't know what I was thinking, but at one point in time, you ever look back at old artifacts or accessories and you're like, wonder why I used a 6-star glyph on this, but I did at one point. But yeah, it's hard to beat that 20% defense with the rest there. So that's what I have. Survivability on the accessories, right? Defense percentage on the speed gauntlets. I have defense percentage on the righteous chest piece. And then I have speed on the boots. So I have a lot of defense, not a ton of HP. but I really wanted that righteous gear. I used to have resistance on the chest too. She was obviously quite a bit higher in terms of resistance. I can get her up to 800 previously with that, but I had to sacrifice quite a lot of defense in order to do so. So I have, looking for speed and resistance essentially on the rest of the gear here. Trip speed roll. Let's see. We got a double roll here, some resistance. I wonder if I have anything better on the weapon. Priority stats, speed, and resistance. I'm assuming I don't because I haven't farmed speed gear. Yeah, she is the best that I have right now. The second best would be a little bit more speed, but I'd be dropping quite a bit resistance, be dropping some HP, dropping some defense. The tough decisions in this game, right? Either way, this is how I have her built. So what are the best artifact sets for Siphi the Lost Bride? I think that Righteous is the best, okay? It's also very hard to get. You could build her with a lot of HP and put her in a bolster set as well. You could put her in a Stone Skin set, but the thing is Stone Skin's great on this champion, but she doesn't have like an ally protect or anything that you really need to keep her alive on. And she's so tanky anyway that I think you can usually get by with it, provided you have another bolster champion on your team, right? You could put her in Guardian gear if you wanted to, especially for PvE. She's fairly tanky, easy to keep alive, right? So those are my favorite builds. Speed set. You don't need perception on this champion. Resistance, good old-fashioned resistance sets work as well. Let's go ahead. I even see some people throwing on frostbite sets on her as well, just to add a little, because obviously they don't require accuracy. I think that frostbite is probably one of the more underrated sets in the game. 15% chance to block freeze debuffs, 10% to place freeze debuff on the attacker. Kind of a sneaky little extra control that you can build onto any champion. It's a 2-piece set. So if you have a 4-piece and you just want to throw a random 2-piece on them, especially if you have good gear, go ahead and check out Frostbite on any champion in the game. All right, guys, enough showing you. Is there any other skins? There's no other skins for Siphi the Lost Bride. What a bummer. What a bummer. All right, let me go ahead and show you her in the arena. Live arena, we have 30 minutes left. Oh man. Whatever. All right, here we go. So we're in gold, whatever, the lowest gold. So we'll see what we have for matchups here. I'm gonna pick Siphi first. Maybe not. I'm not gonna pick Siphi first because I don't want people to just ban her outright. I'll timestamp this video so you guys can. You know what? I won't. He picked Siphi. This is why we don't do live arena on the channel, guys. Hey, well, you know what? You get to see somebody else playing Siphi. How about that? Now, listen, guys. I would love your feedback, honestly, because I know I would say probably half my viewers, maybe more, just tuned out. Like when I started live arena. That's what I really feel like. If I look at the viewer retention, I think there's going to be a massive drop off right now. So let's do that. But hey, we're going against Siphi and Rhodos on the other team, so let's see. They have Polymorph on Siphi. Don't like that because you need accuracy, and they're not building with any accuracy. So I'm actually liking my shot here. Temporal Chains and Polymorph after the nerf to those abilities, unless it's fully awakened. I don't see them as viable options anymore for Siphi the Lost Bride. Ramantu and Jirigid. Well, we're going to ban Siphi. I hate to say it, guys, but that's the right move here. We are going to use Tormin as our second nuker. I actually have Tormin built as a nuker with about 400 resistance. The reason we're using Tormin is because even though they have Ramantu, hopefully I can be able to take care of them. I ban Siphi. They have no block debuffs in here, so we can freeze them. So they can either ban my Tormin, my Yumeko. I mean, they're in kind of quite a conundrum here. They need to ban UDK to free up Rhodos. They go with Yumeko. I don't think they have a shot here. I don't think they have a shot. But we will see. They're gonna go first at least. So, but I have a cleanser to get rid of the block passive skills, So I'm not like super worried about Ramantu. Obviously, he'd be an issue if I didn't have a cleanser on the team because of, you don't want to shut off Tormin's passive. That's the whole reason we have him on the team, and damage, of course. So Polymorph does land there. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's cleanse it. And then, I mean, we should be able to easily kill Rhodos. and then kill everybody. And that was that. Well, you know what? Not too bad. Let's go into the next battle here. All right. I as you guys can see, I'm going to talk about a bunch of champions, not just Siphi here, obviously, in the live arena. But as you guys can see here, I am a massive, massive fan of Tormund the Cold. I think personally, he's one of the most underutilized arena, classic arena offense and live arena, right? I think he's one of the most underused champions out there. I really do. It just depends. He's not good on arena defense anymore because, I mean, he's okay, but he's just like, you can plan for him if you know what team you're attacking. So I don't use him all the time, but if my opponent doesn't have a block debuffs or a cleanser on their squad, well, hell yeah, I'm going to use them, you know? Why not? Why wouldn't I? If they go speed, if I see an Arbiter, I'm like, okay, I'm going. If they only draft one champion I'm going to pick Siphi here too. If they only draft one champion with a block debuffs or a cleanse, I'm going to ban them just like I did, and they have no answer for Tormund, you know? I wouldn't use it against this team here because it's going to be much tankier, it looks like. Okay, so they go Necret and they go Duchess. I am going to go, so I don't use Rotos a ton. I mean, I do quite a bit, right? But I actually don't always go Rotos right away. I always make Rotos my last pick if I'm going to use him with Siphi, because I like to see if they're going to show UDK when they don't need to, you know? Like, if he drafts UDK right now, I'm cool. I can pick whoever I want. If they don't go with UDK right now, I can go Rotos, you know? But if I pull, and sometimes this will happen too. They'll draft Rotos, take him away from me. I don't care. It's fine, you know? It's cool. All right. So Siphi versus Rotos feels very wrong, but it is what it is. They have, you know what? I could do it again, guys. I said I wasn't going to use them, but it's the same strategy here. Boom, boom, boom. They got no good answer for Tormund the Cold again. Who knew this is going to be a Tormund the Cold spotlight, huh? Rotos is very good, but not nearly as good without Siphi on the team, obviously. He can't get cleansed every time. They ban Yameko. So, you know, I could go with Siphi for the extra resistance, but, you know, there's not much to resist here. I'm going to go speed, so that way Siphi can go first. I feel like most people expect a fast Siphi, but we have ours pretty dang fast at 360-ish, you know? So here we go. She goes first, exactly what we wanted. In this situation, I am going to actually use just for a quick turn meter boost. And now we can just go ahead and block damage with Helikath. So in this situation, I'm going to, let's go with the A3 here. We provoke Harima, which is great. As I mentioned, I do have him built Tormund as a nuker, so he's all out damage. And the reason I do that is so I can rotate between three. I don't go with a lot of attack-based nukers in live arena. I go with, and you can see the irresistible sleep. It doesn't matter how much resist they have. I didn't have any options. I had to target her there because obviously Necret's in Stone Skin and a Veil is there on Candyman. So where was I? What was I saying? Oh, my most used nukers, guys, believe it or not, are actually whatever. Are Helikath, who I have built as a nuker as well. And then I'm so used to UDK being on the team that I'm like, okay, he's not there? What's going on here? Helikath, Harima, and Tormund. Those are my three most used nukers on my account for the arena. All right, so they get rid of Siphi. Okay, not the end of the world because we have a stealth reviver in Marichka. So here, I'm just going to go for Necret. Even though I don't think, we should have gone with Harima. I just don't think we could have killed her with the Ally Protect. We would have ignored the shield. See, that's exactly what we would have done. Come back in. Yeah, they're not doing much there with the Ally Protect on. Tormund comes back. We're still in a really good position. Vegas odds set me at -210, I would say, in this battle. All right, let's do... let's see if we can kill Candyman. Yes, we can. Come in with a big shield. Now, unfortunately, Siphi died there. You know, not much we can do about that. Harima hitting pretty hard. But we still win the day. We still win the day, right? So the sacrifice for not going all out defense and getting that much resist on her is obvious, and that's we don't have the defense or the HP that we could, you know. Sorry guys, I picked up a win on that last battle, but I cut it because the opponent gave up like 30 seconds in. Stolheim next from Wolf Lord. Shout out to the Wolf Lords out there. They're going to pick first. Let's see. This will be the last battle of the vid. They start out with My Marichka. How dare you? We'll go Siphi, and we will go with Harima. Harima's so good. Definitely my #1 nuker in the game, for my money, you know? Like, that is the... she's the best of the best in my eyes. Including defense-based, attack-based, everything. She's my #1. So much so that I will draft, like, I could have obviously drafted Rhoda. Ooh. Look what they're doing here, guys. They're giving me some Tormund opportunity, right? I'm going to go Yumeko and Helikath. Throw it back. So sometimes when you're playing a Siphi and Rhodos, right? Sometimes the opponent will come in here and play UDK, like, now, before I play a Rhodos. And not that he's not good by himself, UDK, you know, he can still be a pain to deal with. But, oh, they go Tormund. They took my Tormund and my Rhodos. How dare you? I wish there were emojis that I could get mad or something. All right, let's just go Duchess. And I am, what do I have? They have all my faves here, guys. I'm going to get rid of... It's really fun. I'm going to get rid of Marichka. I'm not so... they banned Siphi. See, again, sorry to belabor the point, but this is why live arenas, it's, you know, hopefully you guys had fun chilling with me a little bit. And let me know if you like this. I'll continue to do it here and there on champions, especially kind of like, you know, OP champions like Siphi. They go first, obviously, but we do cut in line, Dance of Time, and now we're going to be fine, right? Okay. Everything's fine so far. Yeah, let me know what you think of the live arena in a champion guide video like this. It's more of like just a chill hangout session. And I don't know how many people care about watching me when the Siphi was banned, but I'm going to come in here, place the block debuffs. We're going to go ahead and place the block damage now. They're going to try to steal it, but they can't because Sun Wukong has his skills on cooldown. And now let's end the whole entire fight, or close to, right? Did I just A1 instead of A2? Am I crazy? Did I just... I thought I A2'd there. Yeah, oh well. Prolong it a little bit, right? Okay. You've got to... If you're them right now, you've got to be like, okay, bye. I would have given up already, right? This is why I need to push a little bit more in the arena. Although these teams are good that I'm going against, you know... The last time I was playing a lot of live arena, it was like +4 Taurus, Marichka every battle. I got to top 100 live arena, and then I tanked, and then I stopped playing for probably 2 or 3 months. So that's, I got frustrated, you know, which I'm sure is exactly the experience now that these people that I'm playing are going to have, right? Like, what is this guy doing over here at 2,800? I feel like that's probably what they're asking themselves. Oops, my bad. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Siphi the Lost Bride, she's, again, I mean, we showed her a little bit in live arena here. Actually, you know what? Let me show you. You've probably guessed what my favorite team is, my most go-to team on my account. But let me show you. I just want to pick, like, the strongest team I can find really quickly here. I guess maybe... let me see if there's something stronger here. I don't know. Let's go against a Deny Revival team real quick, and then So as you can see, this would be like this is my number one. If I'm just going to be lazy in auto but want like easy wins, this is the squad, as you probably could have guessed from what I was running in the arena. But I just think that it's nice. Obviously, I could use Rotos in the spot of Harima. I just love Harima so much, which says a lot because I have a +4 empowered Rotos as well. I'll do a guide if you guys want me to on Rotos tomorrow, just in case you guys have both of them. Rotos is definitely a much trickier champion to build compared to Siphi the Lost Bride. Because he has 10k base HP, and HP matters a lot on that champion. So does crit rate, crit damage as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and, well, you don't need to watch any more random arena battles. We didn't even see her revive anybody or anything, but I think you guys pretty much get the point. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. If you're watching this, if you pulled Siphi, congratulations. She's incredible, obviously. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this guide, and hopefully it gave a few of you guys inspiration for ways that you can build her in a high resist build, or kind of a hybrid. Again, if I wanted to go all out resist, I would take that chest off and replace it again with the resistance instead. So I'm still trying to get a really good resistance righteous chest. We'll see next Forge Pass rotation what I can get my hands on. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.